Welcome back, everybody. Beautiful, beautiful fall day here. And the leaves are still on the trees, which is unusual for this time of year in Ontario, Canada. So today I thought we would do, of course, we need to do some fall leaves, right? And so last week we did the letter O, and I showed you my process of uh, trying to think of things actually to draw for this. It was just kind of off the cuff, and then using pen and watercolor to color it. And there is a traceable for all my YouTube members and also my Patreon members. So you can check in the community page and you will find that in there. It's a link. Or you can, if you're a member on my Patreon, you can also find that there. And there'll be a link. So I am going to do this watercolor on a piece of actual watercolor paper, but I wanted to show you my last. This is what we did on Thursday. I think he's cute. And it was funny. I did get a comment that there was a piece missing. So I had to go back and fix that. I had forgotten to put any orange in there. And I think I just added a few highlights, I think, afterwards, just in the hands. But other than that, it was just this here. So, and there's also, no, there isn't a traceable. Let me know in the comments if you want a traceable, because I can make one up for you. So, here in Canada, Ontario, the leaves are just starting to fall, and the color is just starting to be at its best. So I just picked up a few off of my lawn. So this is what we have to look forward to. They're gorgeous. I love fall because of this. Each leaf is different, so there's no going wrong with color, shape. And I've only picked a few. These are birch leaves. They get a nice, beautiful yellow, and then maple. And there's a couple different types of maple here. There's this is a king maple. This is a sugar maple. And then there's this one here. I'm not sure what it is, though. But the bark is very, very textural. It actually peels up a little bit. But it's got a really deep cut leaf. It's kind of neat. So I thought I'd show you some of those. I don't think I have another one of them. They're a little later as far as color. And you just never know when they're going to be falling. I'm not sure how it all works. Some people say it's the amount of sunshine it gets. Some people say it's the water. I don't know. But every year it's different. My tree in the back this year is beautiful. And it's the first time since I've moved here, and that was 5 years ago. Usually it's more on the gold side, but this year I've got all these beautiful oranges and reds in it. So I'm happy. So what I'm going to show you, oh yeah, I was going to do it in the, what I'm going to show you is how we can draw these and paint these very easily. And we're going to do a few on a page. So I just got these this morning, so they're still nice and fresh. So this is Fabriano watercolor paper, and it's 140 pounds. This is an 8x8 cold press. I don't think it is cotton though, but I like it. It's in a block. So what we're going to do is, I know a lot of you are still a little bit not confident enough to draw a whole lot. Or if you have if you know you're going to have to draw something, you kind of shy away or you procrastinate about going ahead and doing it. And I want to build your confidence because drawing is very important. It frees up your whole creative experience as far as what to do. It becomes unlimited in your ability to create something. If you think back, how many times did you see something that you really wanted to create, but you didn't know how to go about drawing it? So you put it aside, or you said, no, I can't do that. So tell me down below in comments, are you one of those people shies away from drawing because you just haven't done enough of it? So to get you a little bit more comfortable with leaves, because they are, as you can see, even the maple leaf, look at the differences in shape. They're all different. They're not all the same. See this one here? It's missing that little point over here. This one's got more than one point. This one, it's got all the points. Hey, Kim, Jilly, Susan. Awesome. Good to see you. You're just lazy. I want to add color. So we're going to just do something very simple. So there's no going wrong with this. Is we're going to trace. Yep, that's right. We're just going to trace around these leaves. And even if you don't trace right, it doesn't really matter, because they're all different. That is the awesomeness of drawing nature. Is every single one that you do is unique in its own way, just like people. So we're just going to do a rough outline so we know the basics of it. And then we're going to have that as a reference for our color. So there's that one. Put that aside. Now I've got some really big ones. I've got some with rips in them, or there's even that one there. This one, it's pretty too. Just pick the ones you want to do. Here's another one of those. It's a little bit taller. Let's do one of these. I like this one here. You can overlap them too. You do whatever you want. I think I'll overlap it so it looks like the leaf is underneath that stem of the one I just did. So this is such a quick way of doing your leaves. And you can make it however you want as far as composition. Maybe you want to make a branch. So you would draw the branch first and then add your leaves like this on top of the branch. Now, not all of them would be the same as far as facing the same way, all of them. So you'd have to maybe try and do some that are a side view like that. Let me darken this a little bit. See, you're having a problem. You can't really see what I'm doing. That looks like a true Canadian leaf. Yeah, it did, didn't it? There, can you see that a little better? Oh, you know how they turn colors? Give me the information, Susan. I'd love to know. So here's one that's kind of, it's worn and it's got little holes in it, but I like the color. So maybe we'll put this one like over here. So I've heard so many different reasons why they turn color, but I don't know. And I just thought that it was very strange that the tree I have in the back, which has always been kind of a goldy yellow color, more or less, when the leaves turned and then fell. I've never had it with the color like this before. This is the first year, so I'd love to know why. So that would be great if you know. I'm gonna that, and then we'll just take the stem right off the page. Chlorophyll lacks thereof. They are always all those beautiful colors. But what happens when you put a plant in sunlight, chlorophyll green takes over. All the other colors are simply masked. So you can put the tree inside. So so the lack of sunlight gives you more color then, due to less of production of sunlight. Well, that doesn't make sense here because we had no rain for like 10 weeks. We had full sun. But the tree in the back is the nicest it's ever been as far as color. In the winter, sunlight is less, the chlorophyll is less. There's got to be something more than that, because why would that tree be colorful this year and not in the last 5 years before? Like, I thought for sure it wasn't a sugar maple because it wasn't giving any color. And then this year, beautiful color. So let's do some of these. So if you have less sunlight in the fall, is that what you're saying? Then there's more color? Strange. Isn't nature just amazing though? Like, it just amazes me how plants take care of themselves when conditions aren't right, or they go dormant, or a little that. So these are birch trees. So they always just go, they're not the greatest color. We'll put a couple of these in, I guess. We'll put this one in. Maybe like, yeah, like this. These are very similar to a lot of different shaped leaves that you can get. Like another leaf that's very similar to this would be a beech tree. And then they just have little short stems like that. So we'll keep these, the ones that I've done, out so we can take a look at them. Okay, so there we have our little assortment. Hey, Devin. I think it's one of the coolest botanical facts on earth. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Okay, Jilly. So we have our, now look how quickly we drew these up. But just look at the differences in these leaves. Like, I think they're so amazing. Some of them are even almost black. They're like this one here. Look how dark and red this is. And then you get your beautiful pinks I've seen even. Like there's that one. This one is so cool. I love how they're colored. I like how the veining stays or goes a different color sometimes. Let's see. This one, bright. There's another one with the odd coloration. I think they're so cool. So the reason why I have the watercolor paper this time, because I'm going to do a lot of wet into wet paint. I can just put these over here. I might just print with these in my embossing machine while I have them here. That might be some fun. I haven't done that for a while. I just did a video for you on that if you're interested in seeing embossing leaves. All right, so I've already wet my paper or my paints here. And I have my water beside me. Is that too light? Maybe I'll bring you guys in a little bit. Like that. How's that? A little better? Your embossing leaves video is awesome. I always love it when you, yeah, there's always such a big surprise. You never know how they're going to turn out, eh? Yeah, no drawing when you do them that way. And they kind of look like eco prints. They're really cool. Now, the one thing that you can also do is take a, where did I put it? Embosser. And you can add your veining before you even start. So this one here, if you notice, the veining is very definite. So there's actually a light color in this down the center of the vein, and then the green. So it depends on how much, how much detail do you want to put into these. So you can take a look at your leaf and then bruise the paper. So the main veining just goes up these 3 sections. And then there's a little bit, just a tiny bit of veins off to the side. And they look to be, they're not really, what would you call it? Like parallel to each other. They're kind of random looking. I'm not going to put all of them in, but I will put some. They kind of go up into these little points. Maybe I'll put one there. Maybe one there. Okay. Now we can take our colors. So there's a lot of goldy yellow. So I'm going to take this Henza yellow here. And just make up a few colors. And I want a little bit of yellow ochre in that. I don't want it real bright. It's a little dulled down. And then I'm going to wet my area. So this is going to be wet into wet. So wherever you put your water on your paper, that is the only place the paint will seep into. Now you can do the whole leaf if you want, or you can just do sections of it. And you can see where your water is by just looking off the side a little bit, and you'll see the shine. You don't want puddles, but you want it wet enough that the water stays on top with a little bit of a glisten. So just make sure you put enough. so that it's basically even in amount of water that's on there. So now I'm going to just put in, look at how that runs down that stem. I think that is so cool. So there's quite a bit of yellow in the bottom area. See how it runs up the stem? I think that's so cool. I'm going to turn off the overhead light so you can see better. Hey, Miko. See, it's already running down. I didn't even have to really put much color in there because it's already doing it on its own. Now, if you see some areas that are a little bit stronger in the yellow, then put some more yellow in those areas. And you don't have to do this exactly. Like I said, these are real leaves and every one of them is different. So there's no mistakes with these. All right, then you can, to stop the green or the other colors from going into those lines that we put in, you should dry it first. So I'm going to dry it. Okay. Now we have, oh, it's kind of modeled. Very cool looking. So now we can take some green if you want. It's fairly bright, so I'm going to take some of this leaf green by Da Vinci, I guess it is. And I'm going to add a little bit of permanent sap green to just to dull it down just a smidge. Don't want it too bright. And now I can see where those lines are. So I'm just going to take the edge of the point of my brush and follow those bruised areas where I put that. Because I want to leave a little bit of that yellow along those edges. Okay, but I want to soften them, so I'm going to take a clean, damp brush, and then I'm just going to soften it along the outer edge. I don't want to go in where that bruised area was because it'll fill in that, and I don't want that. So you want to keep that along the vein fairly stiff looking as far as color. You want that line to show. Just use the very tip. You can use a smaller brush if you want, but have fun with these. Don't overthink of it as something you have to spend hours on. These should be fun for you. Where was that? There it is. wanted to see where my bruised area was. I think I have one there, yep. There. That. Paper towel. And then just soften the inner part of this. Don't want it too, I don't want a hard line on the inside. So just soften those edges. Some clean water. That. What a great idea to use an embossing tool. Yeah, it's just very simple. If you want dark lines, all you have to do, well, we'll do one of them and I'll show you. It's really cool. All right, so now we want to add this beautiful, almost looks like a coral color. So I have Pyral, I think, or is this one different? I think I might have, let's see what it is. No, it's Pyral Orange. Beautiful, beautiful color. By Daniel Smith. Very vibrant. Perfect color for this. And I'm going to do wet into dry with this one because it's kind of blotchy looking, but I want some of that green and yellow to show through. See how it's kind of blotchy? Kind of squiggly. So just, ooh. Just touching here and there. Because it was still a little bit on the wet side. It's going to move. Some of this isn't wet, so it'll be a little more pronounced, but that's fine. Kind of like that. And it doesn't go all the way through everything. It kind of stops about here, and then it gets a little less defined, I guess. And then this one, I'm going to put a little bit of water on there. Just where they would be. And you may have to go back and put some more in once this dries, because all watercolor dries a little bit lighter, depending on the brand that you're using too. that. And then you can soften areas. Some are a little softer looking, not as prevalent. So if you add more water, it'll make it lighter also. Might put a little more green in. You could, it's a kind of a go back and forth type of thing. Okay, there's a little black. So I'm going to mix just a smidgen of Payne's Gray with some burnt umber to make a black. So it's a real nice, more of a organic black color. So there's a little bit in here, just at the tip. And there's a few dots here and there. So you put some of those in. A little decay going on. Maybe some right on the tips, you usually see some of that happening. And a little bit in here. Sometimes it's brown. Like that. And then the leaf or the stem is more on the yellowy, almost going into an umber. So we can do that. More yellow on the top, and as it goes down, it turns a little bit more gold, or kind of a muddy color almost. So let's use a little bit of ochre, and then a little bit of green on the very end. That. Okay. Now there is some more blotching, a little more yellow. I'm going to take some of this ochre and just here and there add a little bit more of that ochre color. Kind of blotchy looking. And a little bit in here. Don't cover it all up though with ochre. You want to be able to see some of that yellow and some of the green. You could do this with gouache too. And a little bit more of this, a little stronger color here and there. And it's kind of a blotched look to it. You might want to add a few more colors. You can also give it a dry if you find if it's just mixing in with all the others. Just dry it and then you can go back in. Hey, Joan. So we'll dry that up. And I'm going to take just a little bit more of that green and just go along the edges a little bit again. It's darker in the by the stem. Some of the veins you see of the offshoots of the veins are a little more on the green side, so you can put some of those in if you want. There's a few. Some of them are a little darker than others. Yeah. So I'm kind of blotchy in here with the green. So just take your leaf and do the best you can, trying to replicate the colors. Don't worry about it if it's not looking exactly the way it is, because they're all different. So there's really no mistakes with doing leaves. So these are a great way to practice. All right, so let's do this one. This one's pretty. So I have a little bit of color in here. I think what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to wet it. I'm going to try and stay away from this stem. We'll just do this one side for now. And then we'll do the other side of the stem. So it's going this way. So we have a little bit of more on the orangey reddish side. So let's take this alizarin crimson and the pyrrole. And let's see what else. I'm going to just put a bit of green in there to dull it. And then I'm going to go down the center where the stem would, or the, not the stem, the veins would be. So we're going to do this one a little bit different. And actually this top part is almost all the same color. So we'll put this color in. I'll show you what happens when you bruise it when it's still wet. I'm going to put a little bit more color here and there. Just mix it up. You don't have to have it all the same shade of red. Add a little bit of extra color to it. Now, what happens when you take your tool and bruise it is you get automatic veining. And you don't have to press real hard either. Let's see. There's a few little ones. Okay. And then we can take a little bit of green. It's kind of a bright green. And a little bit of that in there. Here and there. Just let it do its thing. It gets a little bit more in the green shade here. So I'm just mixing right over. I'm not swirling it though with the red paint because then it would just turn brown. So just let it do its thing. It pushes each other in different directions. So I'm going to get some of that yellow. And when you put yellow, yellow is a real mover. So you can, it just pushes everything. It's really cool to watch. We'll put some in here. A bit of yellow or gold, actually a little bit of ochre. And just going around those areas, so I'm letting it mix on its own. So you let the watercolor do the painting, basically. You just add the paint and you let it play. Now I'm gonna add a few more in here. We'll let that dry on its own. We'll see how it works out. And I'm just going to wet this side now. Now you could play with your colors too. You don't have to use the color of a leaf. If you want something more abstract as far as color, you could make all kinds of colors, blues or purples. So I'm just going to, wherever the vein is, I'm just going to put this red in. Like this, and then take my embossing tool and you don't have to press hard. It doesn't take much for this to bruise. Okay, and then you just continue playing, basically. Adding your colors and mix up some of the colors because they'll all be different. Some green. This is fun to do because you'll see how different colors react to each other. You'll get different hues depending on what colors you're using. Just play, have fun with it. All right, then we'll put the stem as more of an ochre color with this one. And a little bit red on the bottom, not much. Hey, Tina. What paintbrush are you using? This is a silver black velvet number 8. I really like these. I was looking on the Amazon and they have gone up in price, unfortunately. I like them because they hold a really nice amount of water, not too much, not too little, and they keep their point. So if you can find something that has a nice point, that's what I look for in a paintbrush. So let's put some blemishes in. So there's actually quite a bit along the stem of this one. Some of the little tips of there's all kinds of little marks here and there. It just gives them a little bit more personality when you put these little defects in them. Makes them real looking. Let's see, a little bit on the bottom. It will cut in if it drops below 20. Oh, is it cold, Dot? Yeah, it's getting cold here too, and I'm dreading having to turn the darn heat on. It's so expensive. But no point in trying to conserve if you get sick because you're too cold, right? You got to take care of yourself. All right, so now I can clean this up. You just take a damp brush if you want to clean something up. So I wet it first and then I take a damp brush. And I'll go back over that probably with colored pencil or something. We'll see. All right, so there's that one. We've done 2. And where did I put that one? Uh-oh. Must have put it somewhere. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'll grab this one. I think it was this one. So this one's got no green in it, but it has lots of gold, more on the ochre side now. This one. So I'm going to wet. So it's like this. So this side is more on the ochre. I'm going to wet this side. I guess I could try the whole thing. Let's try wetting the whole thing. And then we'll add the ochre and the reds at the same time. And let them dance together. So these are easy. No, no doing them wrong, guys. So give them a try. Just play with it because doesn't matter if you goof up on shape or color. They're all different. Nobody's gonna say that's not that's not the way it looked. Nope. So let's just put all this in ochre. And then we'll put some reds and whatnot on top. So if you're doing it this way, you start off with your light and then you go to your dark. And then some nice, let's see, let's try Quin red, cadmium red. Beautiful, beautiful red. But it'll change because we have the ochre on it. Now, I don't mind it being blotchy because it kind of does look blotchy on the leaf. I love how it's spiders out. I think that looks so cool. It's fun to do. A little less in this one, a little more of the other stuff showing. And then a little bit of that cad orange in here. Not much, but there is a little bit. Kind of integrates into it a bit. You can add some of this too. Why not? See what you get. Just play and have some fun. Okay. Now let's play with our tool again. So we have the and then this. You remember, you don't have to do it really hard. Like that. And then I'm going to put a little bit more of that ochre color in. Just a smidge here. Just to give it a little bit more color. Okay. So we'll let that one dry. See how they change in colors? They lose their intensity, but you can go back and add to it. Okay, these ones are just basically, there's a little bit of green in there, but mostly an ochre color. So we'll just add pretty much all ochre on the tip. Now you could take these and after you're done and scan them or take them to some shop and print them out on sticker paper. Cut them out, use them as stickers. Okay, we just add a little bit of green to that. Let's take our tool again. This one has a definite way that it the vein runs. So one big one on the, and then it kind of swoops up. And they're almost parallel to each other. Like that. Okay. And then the stem is a little bit on the darker side. And we could actually just go like that. It's kind of blotchy. Those little blotches go up the center vein. And then there's quite a bit of Make as many or as little as you want. Make them as dark as you want. Just remember they do lighten. That. Most of the tips are kind of wonky. There's some little wee ones too. Add a little bit of green to that. Add a little bit of that grayish color to that ochre, just to darken it a little bit. I need a little bit more concentration in here. And there, go down the stem. Like that. Just ordered on Amazon the Point Soulmate. Reminds me of the Sumi brushes. Awesome, Tina. Yeah, they are beautiful brushes. I really like them. I think they're still pretty reasonable as far as watercolor brushes, because I find it really difficult finding some that have the nice tip. Okay, there's this one. We're gonna, this is just wet into dry. Now, if you want to spend the money on, say, Da Vinci brushes, they have some really nice ones, but they're very pricey. And I do have a couple Da Vinci's, but I keep going back to these. The point stays really nice, doesn't wear down so fast. These are synthetic and squirrel, I think. So they're a little bit of mix. All right. And then we do the bruising again. So when you're doing your veins, just take a moment and really study what it looks like, because it will make a difference in your painting. So see how it seeps in? Just gradually seeps in. And let's put a little bit of, there's a smidgen of gray or green in the base here. So we'll just add a little bit of green in there, right over top of that. Just take a brush and mix it into the other color. And then that dirty color we made. And then we just take a look at your, that could be a little darker, but I'm not worried about it. So I like the way it looks. If you want to add the exact colors, go right ahead. I am happy with the way it's looking. And sometimes you will see them almost black areas because the leaves kind of go moldy when they're on the ground. So you put some of those in. Just add a little bit of that black in there just to darken it up. Okay, so let's dry that. Thanks, Joan. All right, we'll just leave that. It's a little bit wet. Let's see what else we can do with this. So I think we could go a little darker in the green. So let's do a little bit of this sap green. And I'm going to put it over here. Maybe even a little bit of red in there. Dull it down more onto a olive color. And just remember, it will lighten. I'm going to put a little bit of green in there. Tabbing. Okay. I'm just going to soften some of these edges here. Just a bit. These hard edges. Yeah, that looks better. There. All right. Now, This one looks pretty good. And that was the other one. I think I could put a little bit more ochre in there. Here and there. Then I'll go back and soften it. Just needed a little bit more intense color there as far as the ochre. It's kind of a little bit on the blah. There. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Hope you're feeling better. All right. Well, just a few more in here because these are fairly prevalent. Just make a little bit more those dark areas. Just along here so it kind of separates the overlap of the two leaves. There. All right. So let's dry it and then we'll do a little bit of pen work. Oh, I missed the stem. Missed a stem. I'll just do it in the there. Now, I'm going to use my graph ink. This is 0.5. If you have a sepia color that comes in different colors, this is Unipen, and they are different colors. Same with the, when they say sepia, there's different shades of sepia. Some are red, some are brown. This one is a 1. So I'm using brown because I want it to go with the, I don't want it to stick out so much as far as the line work. I think this one's almost gone. There. See, there's different shades. And there's this one too. This one's a little bit more on the reddish side. That's a micron. So this is a 1, very small. Do I want, well, I guess I could leave the lines on for now. The pencil lines. Let's do this one first. And a lot of times I don't do all of the line work, like every single line. A lot of times it's just done to either separate something or show the shading. So like in here, I'll just put a little bit. Maybe I want more of a point on some of these. So I'll put that in. On the inside, maybe. Or show splits in the leaf, maybe. Because sometimes you don't need all the lines. Everybody's different though, so you kind of have to find what you like as far as style. Some people like a variation of width too. Or I could follow the paint line instead of the line that I actually drew. Sometimes that's kind of cool looking to do. So I got a lot of little bumps and lumps. And then you just erase the the other lines. Now this one is over top of the other one. Let's see. Might put a little bit in the, if it's not dark enough, in the vein. Just go along the very edge. Just on the bottom part. Don't go all the way up. And that kind of shows a bit of dimension. I like to cross things. So here's a bunch of I know these leaves are a little bit pointy on the edges, so you can put that in. But you don't have to put all of the line in. Your mind's eye will fill in those blanks. And a lot of times that's what makes a drawing interesting, is when there's things left out. Okay, let's see. A little bit more in here. Like that. All right, now, like always, I like to put a little bit of colored pencil in. So this one does have a little bit of darker area, so we could get, let's see, this one doesn't look very good. Look at that. Not good. So right along the vein area, it's a little bit darker in just along the edge here. Now this is watercolor paper, so it's not going to go on as smooth as your sketchbook. So keep that in mind too. Now let's see. I had a blender. I don't think I have one out here. You could blend that into, or let's see, pinky. Thinking to myself, just to get rid of some of that texture from the paper. Blend with a lighter color. I'll have to go into the green with that one there. Now I'm getting kind of picky with this. You don't have to do this. It's just something I like to do. You absolutely do not have to go start doing all this stuff. Okay. Let's see. I don't know if I can. Oh, yeah. Just going to lighten that vein. See how it's kind of light in the very center. This one. Let's see, what's this one? It's a little bit light too in the center. That. You could just leave it too, or you could use more paint. Now, I always like to add a little bit of shadow so it doesn't look like they're just floating. Bye, Devin. Have a fantastic day. And what I do is just use that same old the blue and the umber together, and you just have to decide which way your light is coming from. So I'm going to have it coming from the top here down. So some of these would have shadows. So if it was lying on the table, they're not always lying flat too. So you could actually just do a little bit of a gap where your leaf would be in some areas. So you might have a little bit of it curling, so you would see a little bit of a gap here and there. Let's see, maybe this one would have that. This always just seems to finish off a painting to me. Or a sketch when you do this. Just make sure you get close to the leaf. Let's see, maybe this one, like that. And then this stem, don't forget. Just a little bit. Oh, the dogs are up. They're up. That. A little bit on here. A little in here. There. That. You could also put it on your leaf. So anything that's crossing over, like this stem here, just put a little bit of that wash in there too. Doesn't have to be a lot. This one here would have that. I think that's it. There, I guess. Kathy, these are beautiful. I can smell. You must have beautiful fall leaves too, do you not, Dot? Maple trees, sugar maple. And then a little bit of shadow on the stem, just a bit. Now, another thing you could do once you try these, try doing ones that are curled. Now, you can't trace them, but you kind of have to get the gist of it. So you don't have to worry too much about being really accurate, but you want to be able to say, yes, that's curled. If you know what I mean. Let's see. I think that's it. See if I can fill in some of those. That's better. I just took a little bit of watercolor in that color again to go over the colored pencil, and it fills in those little marks from the paper grain. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. All right. Now you could, well, these are pretty matte looking, so there's no shine on these, but if you got wet ones, you could probably do raindrops on them too. But give this a try because it's very satisfying. It really gets your confidence level up as far as drawing and being successful in the end, because there's no mistakes in these. So give them a try. Go out, pick some leaves off the ground, and see what you can do. All right. So I'll let you guys go, and I will see you on Thursday. We'll be doing another acrylic painting, so look forward to that. And got any ideas for some acrylic paintings you want done or watercolor? Leave a comment down below and I will put it on my list. All right. So stay creative and have a fantastic fall day. Bye for now.